Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp as we once again have a look at some of the games coming out for the Switch in this upcoming week. In terms of dates, we'll be going from the 11th of May up until the 17th to see if there's anything worth your time and money. So which games are coming out for the Switch this week? Well, let's find out. Let's start by looking at a game from the sponsor of today's video, their newest release on the Switch, Hotel Hustle. This sees you in charge of a hotel, having to take care of the guests, tidying up their rooms before they arrive, carrying out all of the tasks on your to-do list, and getting rid of any mess. Once this is done, you can check the guests in and you'll then need to meet their requests, whatever sort of room service it is they're asking for, and doing so in a specific amount of time will earn you a monetary bonus. You can play the game with 2 players in local co-op, and this is handled with a really nice split screen that makes it very easy to play, and there are 3 stars to aim for on each level. Earning these stars will unlock new levels for you to try, with 25 in total to attempt across various layouts. Hotel Hustle launched on the 10th and it sells for £9.89 or your regional equivalent, but it does launch with a huge discount, taking it down to just about £2 give or take, and full details of those prices are at the bottom of the screen now. We do have a full video on this game if you want more information. I'll put a card to that in the top right hand corner, and just again a thank you to the publishing team for sponsoring this episode. Let's move on to the games coming out this week then, and the first of those is The Land Beneath Us. This is a turn-based roguelike dungeon crawler rooted in Welsh mythology. It says you'll be using powerful skill combos and stylish weaponry to battle your way through the underworld. You'll need to master combos and use a variety of different weapons, from blood axes to laser pistols, and you can equip different weapons to each of your weaponry slots for a dynamic hack and slash journey, so says the blurb. This game releases on the 13th for £13.49 or your regional equivalent, and it does have a demo you can try first if you want to see what it's all about.
Wisely, upgrade or swap for a shinier arsenal. In The Land Beneath Us, each weapon has unique abilities. Your choice could mean victory or defeat. But worry not, fearless adventurer, you can get some relics to enhance your run too.
Next then we have Biomutant, which first released back in 2021 on other consoles, or 2022 on the newer consoles such as PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, and this calls itself an open world post-apocalyptic kung fu fable RPG. A plague is ruining the land and the Tree of Life is bleeding death from its roots. The tribes stand divided and you'll need to explore a world in turmoil and define its fate. It promises maximum freedom of movement while mixing shooting, melee and powers from your mutations. You can recode your genetic structure to change the way you look. You'll be exploring a vibrant open world by foot, mech, jet ski, air balloon or area unique mounts, and your actions and choices will decide how your story of survival ends. This includes the Mercenary Loadout DLC and will sell for £34.99, but you can get 20% off of that price up until just before launch. Also this week we have Braid, the Anniversary Edition. Braid is a puzzle platformer that first released back in 2008 for the Xbox 360's Xbox Live Arcade. You'll need to control the flow of time to solve subtle platform puzzles in this update of an indie classic, featuring refreshed artwork and an in-depth creator commentary. You can rewind, pause and use the strange properties of time in each world to run and jump through each environment, avoiding hazards, unlocking doors and collecting jigsaw pieces across your adventure. It features repainted pixel by pixel artwork and, as I said, a creator commentary with over 12 hours of recorded insight and conversation. This one is out on the 14th and it will cost £17.99. We also have Neptunia Game Maker Revolution. This released in Japan in 2023 and is now getting a worldwide release, and it's an RPG spin-off of this famous franchise. You'll need to grow a previously defunct game studio, which means needing strong developers, cutting-edge video games and the expansion of your market. Creating these games boosts your party stats in battle as other game studios try to take you down. It features a revamped battle system with chained attacks and transformative specials, and with this having been one of those series that I've seen a few games from but never really tried, I must say this particular release does grab my attention more so than any of the other games in the series. It's out on the 14th and it will sell for £44.99 or your regional equivalent. Next is Lysfanga, the Time Shift Warrior. This is a hack and slash game, but it does have a really interesting feature where you can rewind time. Now when I first heard this, I assumed it would just be if you made a mistake you'd have a finite amount of rewinds to use, but in fact it looks like every time you rewind, your previous self will stay where they were, and you can rewind a number of times to effectively clone yourself and have you attacking multiple enemies at once. It says that each arena can be approached in countless ways, and you can adapt your strategy using the tools at your disposal to beat your own high scores. It does remind me a little bit of something like Hades just in terms of that general gameplay. It doesn't appear to be a roguelike though, it does look like it's a curated experience, and it is definitely one I've got my eye on, I must say. It's published by Quantic Dream and it releases on the 14th for £20.99.
You're not the only one who can be in multiple places at once.
I will become Legion and crush these demons.
We then have Monster Outbreak, which sees you needing to gather resources, build defences and upgrade your arsenal to defend the kingdom against waves of dangerous monsters, so says the blurb. It's a pixelated top-down survival game where you take control of Yulia, the last surviving member of the Royal Guard, and confront the endless monster hordes spawning by the out-of-control dimensional orb. There are a broad range of weapons to try, from simple swords and axes to sophisticated bows which provide elemental attacks, and it has that tower defense feel to it where you'll use a lull within each of the waves to fix up your defenses, place new turrets etc, ready for the next one. This game releases on the 16th and it will sell for £12.79 or your regional equivalent. The next release is Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. The blurb doesn't say too much here, I must say, but it does mention a woman summoned by an eccentric man to participate in a project in an old hotel becomes embroiled in a game of illusions, increasingly dangerous and surreal. Judging by the trailer at least, it definitely gave me old school Resident Evil vibes with those fixed camera angles, but it does have a very interesting art style, going for that monochromatic effect with a hint of red used to accentuate certain moments or items. This one really does interest me, I must say. I don't know a huge amount about it, but the trailer has definitely done enough to pique my interest. I'm always on the lookout for a new old school Resi type game. This one's out on the 16th for £19.99. Then we have Read Only Memories Neurodiver, which is the sequel to 2064 Read Only Memories. This has a new story, a new cast of characters, and it says it's an adventure that newcomers can dive into, but those familiar with the original game might notice a lot of familiar faces making a comeback. You take on the role of ES-88, a young Esper employed by Minerva, a powerful organisation specialising in information science, neurotechnology and extrasensory phenomena. Within this role, she has been tasked with tracking down Golden Butterfly, a mysterious psychic entity hiding in and fragmenting the memories of Neo San Francisco's citizens. I never played the first game, but I did hear that it was pretty decent. This sequel releases on the 16th and it will cost £12.79. The penultimate game for the week is, and I'm going to struggle with this pronunciation, is it PO'd Definitive Edition or PO'd? I'm going for PO'd, like KO'd. But this is a game that has been out before, just one I don't know anything about. It first released in 1995 and it's a first-person space shooter featuring gameplay elements inspired by games such as Doom and Quake. This comes from Night Dive Studios and promises updated visuals, anti-aliasing, increased frame rate and redefined controls, as you jetpack your way across the galaxy, taking out the aliens that are trying to defeat you. Please do feel free to let me know anything about this game that you do know, because it's not one I've heard of, I must say. But it releases on the 16th if you are interested for £17.99 or your regional equivalent. And finally for the week then we have Morbid, the Lords of Ire. This is a continuation and reinvention, according to the blurb, of the critically acclaimed isometric Souls-like ARPG Morbid, the Seven Acolytes, with the protagonist Striver returning once more to do battle with horrific creatures in a dark and twisted world of pain and suffering. It again promises brutal Souls-like elements in terms of its combat as you try to defeat the 5 Lords of Ire, with an all-new 3D perspective for this particular game. It promises to build on the sanity system that was introduced in Morbid, the Seven Acolytes, with the way you approach combat having a dramatic impact on the world around you. There are 5 unique lands to explore, and you can experiment with different play styles using a variety of weapons, runes and blessings. As I said, this is the final game of the week, releasing on the 17th for £24.99 or your regional equivalent.
Rend their flesh for all our sake.
So there you have it, another week of Nintendo Switch releases. Actually pretty decent week, it must be said, after a couple of weeks that were pretty dry. Do any of those games interest you? Will you be picking any of them up? Please do let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget, if you are looking for eShop credit to pick any of these games up, you can get your eShop cards via our website switchup.gg. Doing so will get you 5% of your purchase price back in cashback that you can use against a future purchase, and there are a variety of other links down there to places such as PlayAsia. Use the links, use the codes that are stated, and you'll get yourself a discount from your orders. Some of these are affiliate links and it does help the channel out if you do use them, which is very much appreciated. A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.